Welcome to the Honest Dog Breeder Podcast with me, your host, Julie Swan, where each week we dive in to discuss all things dog breeding so you can build a breeding business you love, producing dogs that fulfill their owners' dreams. I believe you can have an honest dog breeding program that also pays the bills. So throw those pods in your ears while you're cleaning kennels. I'd love to join you. You guys are in for a treat today. Today we have Donna Filatova of Kismet Labradoodles, and you're over in Ashville, North Carolina. Donna, thanks so much for coming on the show. It's been fun being on your journey for the last few years. So,
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. This is a dream. I'll share more, but yeah, this is surreal to me.
it's so good. You've done so good. So, all right. So tell us. So, how did you get into dog breeding? Because you just had your first litter earlier this year. So, what?
Yeah, June of this year, first litter. It's been at least 3 years in the making. I remember 3 years ago driving in my car and thinking, I probably should find a good podcast about breeding because I have no idea what I'm doing, but I want to do this thing. So I already decided. I had Zeppelin, who is our stud. And then I was kind of thinking about it and waiting for the right female and all that. And I came across your podcast. So I've been listening to you for 3 years.
Oh, poor
I can't
thing. Yeah.
believe we're connected and we're doing this right now, but this is kind of wild. So yes, I got my first Labradoodle in 2020. That was Axel. He's our pet. He's a non-breeding dog. And I just fell in love with the breed.
Hmm.
And he was amazing and he still is. But I didn't know I wanted to breed until I got Zeppelin. And Zeppelin, I just felt like, oh gosh, it will be such a waste if he gets neutered. So I reached out to the breeder and I said, what do you think if I, maybe be on the same journey as you? I think she was about 7 years into it at that point, and she goes, "Well, you don't really start with a stud. You can't really make money because it's like nobody knows you yet. And then you don't want to over stud out because that's not a good thing." And so she goes, "You need a female. Like ideally, you probably should have started with a female." And I go, "Well, yeah, but I didn't know." So we decided, we changed the contract for him to be basically a breeding dog. He passed all his exams with flying colors because that was another thing I thought, if he doesn't pass, maybe we just kind of get that idea aside. But he did, and she was really impressed too. And she goes, "Oh, this is one of the best studs I've seen, the results." So I'm like, okay, this is a sign. So let me get on the list for a female. And the female was supposed to happen 9 months later. Well, the mummy had all boys in the litter.
Oh.
So I had to wait another 9 months. So it's 18 months later, I got my girl. She had to be old enough, so she was almost 2 before we could have this first litter this year. So
Mhm.
it's been a while. It's been
Right?
a minute, but it gave me all the time to prepare.
Yes.
With your help, thank you so much. We know we got a beautiful website up and I had time to study and make sure that I know what I'm doing. I have
Great.
wonderful mentors within our breed that have been super helpful with
Yeah.
the whole process and like do this, don't do that, consider this, buy this, you need that.
Yeah.
So it's been such a great community of help and here we are.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. Okay, so did you end up doing tell us how the breeding went?
Yeah.
Like did you do live
I
cover or how did you end up?
so I got really lucky with my dogs because Zep knew exactly what to do. Aspen was by the book with her cycle and heat and everything, progesterone testing, like day 14, okay, let's go. And then uh, they just knew what to do. So that
Gotcha.
was easy.
Yeah, it's how
That
it should
part,
be.
that part was really easy because I hear stories like, oh, the stud didn't really, not mature enough or things can happen. But obviously we got really lucky. We got so lucky that she had 11 puppies.
Yes, 11.
So yeah, I had no idea. It was I think we saw 9 on the X-ray. And then once the labor started, she had 9. And she did it in 3 hours and she did great. She's such a great mama. And then I cleaned everything, put things away. Okay, let's organize. Let's make sure she's comfortable and the babies are nursing. And then about an hour later, she looks at me and I see contractions. And I go, oh my goodness, there's another one. There's another one born. And then 40 minutes later, another one. So we ended up having 11. They're all healthy. They're all loved. They all have families, and it's just been wonderful. Yeah, it's. I think I got super lucky.
Well, you put a lot of work in, and I mean, you got some killer dogs. They're so beautiful, and I
Yeah.
know like the Australian Labradoodles are interesting. If you, some people aren't familiar, and maybe you can just kind of go through a little bit of the breed and where it comes from and what they are.
Yeah, absolutely. So they originated in Australia, hence the Australian piece, which a lot of us are confused about because now, when you say, what breed is it? Australian Labradoodle. Oh, are they Aussie Doodle? They are, everybody thinks they have Australian Shepherd in them. They don't. It's Cocker Spaniel, Labradoodle, and Poodle. It's just whoever originally decided to breed them wanted
Hmm.
a dog that is non-shedding, hypoallergenic,
Yeah.
maybe allergy friendly is probably the right
Mhm.
word. And
And
I believe he had a Cocker Spaniel, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, that was the thing that added a little bit extra. Like it was primarily like Labrador and
Mhm.
Poodle, and then the Cocker Spaniel just gives. I think it helps with ears and coat texture and some other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah.
interesting.
So
I know, but you're
it's
right. It is so weird because everybody, I thought they were Australian Shepherd crosses in there too for a
Oh,
long time.
trust me, trust me. When I had Axel, it was my friend was actually like, "Your dog doesn't have Australian Shepherd in it." I'm like, "Oh, let me go read up on the breed." With my first one, before I even thought about breeding, it's like, "Oh yeah, this is interesting." And it is interesting because my very first puppy was a Cocker Spaniel when I think I was 6, 7 years old. I don't remember, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good
Do you,
story.
can you, do you want to tell us a little bit about her? Because she was just, yeah.
Yeah, she was
Hmm.
precious. She was
Yeah.
great. She was a club dog. So I grew up in Latvia in Eastern Europe, and the dog you had to basically wait for 9 months at least. And my mom had to go
Just to
through
get
the
a,
course
just to get a puppy.
just to get
Oh,
a puppy
wow.
because
That
you
was like
have to.
big time.
Yeah, yeah, it was club. They were show dogs, her parents, and so the breeder had the potential owner go through a course about
Hmm.
how to feed, what to do, what not to do. So my mom had to take this whole course before we could even adopt her and bring her home.
Yeah.
So I remember my mom, yes, standing in the kitchen and cutting raw meat and these little cubes and everything was weighed and it was like a second baby showed up in the home. So that's where I learned, oh, this is how you take care of your, and I wanted a dog. I remember bugging her all the time. Like I remember she would pick me up from kindergarten and I was like, can we get a dog? Can we get a dog?
Hmm.
Like, I think we're getting a dog this time. And it was such an exciting time. And then unfortunately, it was in 89, 90, and the parvo vaccine was not available in our
Yeah.
area yet. So she unfortunately picked it up. And yeah, we lost her at 6 months. It was really sad.
Oh, God. It gives me. Mm.
Yeah. And
Oh.
ever since then, I wanted a puppy and I wanted a dog. And I went, no, no, it's too. But we actually tried. So we adopted a year-old Cocker Spaniel from the same breeder, but
Mhm.
unfortunately, she was abused. And this is where I learned also that, gosh, the dogs have to be placed with the right family. Because
Yeah.
I think her story is that she was neglected. Maybe the kids were in the house that abused her. She was not okay with kids. Like, no matter how much I wanted to love on her, she didn't trust. She would snip. And then once she bit me, my mom said, okay, we need to find a new
Yeah.
home. Then she went to another home with a kid. And then we figured out she needs to be with a couple with no
Hmm.
kids where it's really peaceful. And she did great with that,
Yeah.
I guess, fourth
Yeah.
family.
And it was just because you were a responsible kid at that age, but it wasn't, yeah, she just had a thing about kids at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
Ugh.
didn't matter, it's like, because they all love cheese, they're foodies. Cockers are foodies.
Yeah.
No, she didn't. She would not take it, wouldn't let us brush her, wouldn't let us bathe her. We couldn't even get close. And then yeah, once she bit me, which I didn't mind. I understood, I think it was she was sitting on this little couch and I sat next to her trying to play and she didn't have it. It snapped me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. I get it, and there are reasons like people who are 100% against rehoming a dog. Like it's a perfect example of
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
bad
It's
fit.
just and my mom is she's a person that would never like once you take an animal, it's a responsibility. It's yours until something happens either to you or to the animal. But
Yeah.
it was just she's like, well, she was aggressive against the child, so I
And
couldn't.
yeah, I mean, kids got to come first, right? So, yeah.
It's
Uh,
hard.
it is. It is.
It's hard. And I know now we have tools, we have trainers, and we have this and behaviorists and people that can talk to them and like figure out what
Yeah.
happened, what trauma they had. And it was just not available then. So
Sure. Yeah, it's come a long way, this
yeah,
understanding of the relationship with
yeah.
breeders or, well, with puppies and dogs
With the
and
dogs,
well,
yeah,
and
with their
training and
psychology and the whole thing. Yeah, yeah.
yes, exactly.
We have more tools now, but I know there's situations where maybe it's better for the dog to be in the new home. So
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I run into it from time to time myself. So, um, as
Yeah.
you got through, okay, so you had this litter. So how was it all in all? I mean, you said it was a fairly easy whelping. Like did that surprise you how easy it was?
I was just I think I'm a person that always prepares for the worst. So I had, okay, let's make sure everything is here in case I need a tube feed or this or this or this. So I got all these different tools and thank God I did have to use them. There was one puppy that didn't latch right away, but she took a little syringe with colostrum and somehow she latched onto that. It was a kind of like a nipple looking syringe
Yeah.
attachment. So she latched onto that. So I'm like, oh, there's hope. And then within an hour, she latched onto mom. So it was all good. It was
Mhm.
just, 11 puppies. My dog has 9 nipples.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure we rotate them. Everybody's gaining weight and we weigh them at least twice a day that first 2, 3 weeks. And then,
Sure.
it was all good. They were gaining,
Mhm.
they were healthy.
Mhm.
Nobody had any issues. I think sometimes things could be like hernias or cleft palates or, there are
Mhm.
things that could happen. And we got so lucky they're super healthy. Even the vet, every time we took them for shots, the vet would comment, "Oh my God, I've never seen a litter like this big litter that everybody like. There's nothing wrong with any of your
Yeah.
pups. Like how could this be?"
Oh, that's
And
so
they're all so
perfect though.
chill, and they're so chill, and they,
Mhm.
wouldn't even make a sound when we got the shot. I microchipped them myself. They were calm. They were so
Mhm.
calm about
Was
it.
it weird doing the microchip? A lot of people get weird about it.
I was nervous because it was the first
Mhm.
time I had to do something like that.
Yeah.
So I watched a lot of videos. I'm like, okay, you can do this. You can do this. Because
Mhm.
my friend who is a breeder also, she does this herself. Like, okay, I can do this. And I put a little lick mat with their little food that they like, the wet
Aw.
food, played music that's like puppy yoga,
You're
whatever
so
you want to
nice
call it,
about it.
right?
Yeah.
Essential oils and all this. So they didn't even notice what was happening. So it, that
That's
went very
perfect.
well. The microchip worked, so
Hmm.
we scanned everybody to make sure it's in there. It's in there. So,
Hmm. That's awesome. Have you been comfortable using syringes and needles and stuff before injecting things?
sort of.
A
Not
little bit.
not anything like this was sub Q, so that was fine. Anything
Yeah.
intramuscular, probably not, because
Yeah, I don't do too
yeah.
really anything intramuscular,
I
just
don't
horse
know.
vaccines.
No,
Yeah.
so sub Q is fine because
Hmm.
I've had to do it before
Hmm.
on myself and then others,
Hmm.
but not on puppies.
Yeah, it is. It's just like a giant, the microchip is just such a giant needle. I think that's
It
what
is a
throws
giant
everybody
needle.
off,
I saw
right?
that needle. I'm like, oh my God, it's supposed to be a nano chip. How is the
Right.
needle so cute? But yeah, they didn't even notice. So it went well.
That's so good. That's so
Yeah.
good. Well, perfect. I know. I love it when that happens.
Yeah.
Um, Okay, so that was pretty easy. And then how did it go finding homes?
Yes, that was interesting because I didn't realize. So, of course, we had 11. I thought, what a blessing. This is great. I'm probably one of the few breeders that, like, the first litter you get such a big litter because everybody was commenting, oh my gosh, I never had 11 at all. I've been doing this for 10 years. Or, they've had, or they lost one, or, things happen.
Hmm.
But I don't know of anybody in I mean, I don't know everybody who breeds
Sure.
ALDs, but I don't know anybody in my closer circle that ever had that many for their first litter.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So then they go, "Ooh, this is great," but it's like having two litters in one. And
It is.
I didn't really know what that comment meant. I'm like, "Isn't it great?" Until it came time to, oh, there are 5 weeks now, there's 6 weeks now, there are 7 weeks now. We had, one reservation. One I traded with another breeder. Like, okay, two
Yeah.
of them are going home. Two of them my neighbor got because originally one of them was supposed to be my next mama hopeful.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, four, but we still have another seven. And now there's 7 weeks, and we don't have anybody interested. 8 weeks. And I go, okay, okay, it's fine. Obviously, I loved that they stayed over because I love puppies.
Hmm.
But it was kind of nerve-wracking because it's like, I want to make sure it's the right family. So that was another thing.
Yeah.
We had some inquiries where, people either offered less or people are like, oh, well, they're already older, like they were 9 weeks, it's not, they're already or older. I want to, I can offer you this much. And it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. Like, you're not the right fit energetically. I'm sorry. It's not even about money because it's not. You know how it is, especially your
Mhm.
first litter. It's
Right. I know. You're lucky
gotta
to
be
recoup your
making money.
costs. Yeah.
So, like, no, it doesn't feel right. And surely enough, 3 days later, whenever it happened to each puppy, that was like, oh, I'll give you less, or oh, it's this situation, and I just didn't feel right. 3 days later, a perfect family came along.
Uh-huh.
So, and I know I talked to you about it because I was getting
Yeah.
nervous because they're 9 weeks now, they're 10 weeks now. Oh, what do I what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
We keep going to the vet for the next vaccine and the next vaccine. And they're like, how many more are coming next time? I'm like, I don't know. Because, and then they're getting bigger. And then my carriers, because I have a stroller and I have another stroller, and they
Mhm.
were getting so big that I couldn't even fit them into the carriers anymore.
Oh.
Like, okay, that's fine. And something you said really helped because it's just not their time, and it wasn't their time. I think they were ready to go home beginning of August. I don't know if it's going back to school time. People are traveling. People are
It's a
still on
weird time of
vacation.
year. Hmm.
It's kind of harder, so we kind of hit harder time, bigger litter. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the dogs, and I know some buyers out there are like, oh, so what's wrong with them? How come you still have seven left? And it's like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. You have
Yeah.
more to select from. And I think it's great that they stayed more because they got more boundary setting from mama. So
Hmm.
the ones that went home later, I think they have more boundaries, and I think it's worked out really well.
Yeah. Well, you put the time into them.
That
Sometimes they
too.
can be a
Yeah.
detriment if you're like, yeah, just stay in there. You'll be fine.
We had to, obviously we continued training. By the time they went home, they were potty trained outside. They were crate trained. So people really appreciated that because they're like,
Yeah.
ooh, I skipped a month of doing this myself. And I go, yeah, this is great.
Right.
Yeah. So it all
Mhm.
worked out in the end, but it was a
Mhm.
little, some, some part of it, I guess, was upsetting. It's like, they are so great and they're so sweet. And a lot of
Yeah.
them had this, temperament of a therapy dog. So if somebody wanted a therapy dog, it was a perfect match. I think we had a couple of families that work in the medical field and they are planning to train them and take them to work with them. So that's my
That'll be
dream.
so
Is
nice.
that it can be
Yeah.
working dogs in schools or in medical setting for patients. I love that.
Yeah. Oh no, it's rewarding when to see
Yeah.
your dogs make that difference, especially because they do that for you at home. They're
Yeah.
so loving at home. Absolutely.
Exactly, exactly. And we get a lot of pup dates, almost every day I get texts with photos like
Aw,
they got their first grooming, they got this. Oh, they're so sweet. We love him so much. So it's really rewarding.
that's nice. How is the grooming management up until?
Um, when they're little, it's so easy because it's trimming around the eyes, the
Mhm.
ears, the paws, and I don't really touch the body until they're maybe 4 or 5 months. Well, not until they really get to go to the groomer with the new family, and they
Yeah.
have to have all their shots. And their coat is manageable
Hmm.
up until that time, but then once the puppy coat sheds, it's a lot of upkeep.
That makes sense. Do you do your own grooming on your dogs?
No,
No,
no.
I couldn't
I
do
want
grooming.
to. I have all the tools. I have the table. I have everything. It's time consuming. I have three dogs, currently five here because we just got a mini for our program. And then one of the girls stayed here because we're still looking for a guardian home. That's
Hmm.
a perfect guardian home.
Hmm. I get that. Hmm.
So I have five and it's challenging.
Yeah.
Challenging to do. It takes 3 hours per dog if I was going to do it myself.
Oh, it'd be probably about 30 hours for me, so that's
I
good.
bathe them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I bathe them and I brush them and it's upkeep in between groomings, but yeah, my
Yeah,
groomer is doing an amazing job. So
that's so
we
good. I
just
always feels like that's the sweet spot anyway. Here,
yeah,
just
yeah.
fix
Maybe
that.
eventually if I can do this 100%, 100% full time
Yeah, there you
and
go, right?
only concentrate on everything dogs, then yeah.
Oh, that'd be so. Very,
Yeah.
very good. Did you end up having to discount any of the dogs, or did you end up just holding out?
So I adjusted the price because we started with a higher price and we
Hmm.
sold three of them at the original price. I adjusted thinking that maybe that would make a difference. It didn't make a difference
Well, how do you know?
because it was still silence for 2, 3 weeks. So it wasn't like,
Uh,
oh, it's now at this price, which is
got it.
pretty average.
Sure.
And I don't think it made a difference. And then one of them, I started offering incentive. So if it was a referral, then
Yeah.
a certain amount went to the person who referred. So one of them sold that way, but the rest were just basically ads and word of mouth.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Okay, so ads and ads, which kind of ads?
I did through Instagram, so I would
Hmm.
just boost the post and that
Hmm.
worked for some of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
that makes
got
sense.
we got some interest that was kind of like, oh, I really want your puppy, but my spouse, I have to go talk to my wife. I have to go to talk to my husband first. So you know how those go.
Right. Yeah, they're hit or
If
miss. Yeah,
everybody is not on board right away, it's kind of hard.
sure.
But some of them we did end up finding really good families through social media.
Good. That's really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you've always been kind of good at Instagram, so that definitely was a
We
skill in
try
your
to keep
pocket.
up. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's,
It's
taking photos. People think it's it's all puppies and it's playing with puppies and cute
yeah,
little
they never poop.
pictures.
So
And
weird. Yeah.
oh my gosh, the puppy, yeah, the poop too. But the puppy picture days, it would take the whole weekend. And maybe I'm just slow, but bathing 11,
Wow.
blow drying.
Yeah.
Then finding the right lighting and making sure you get the photo that you want.
Mhm.
It's a all day. And then posting too, edits and posts and write a
Oh,
caption.
right.
So yeah.
It
Well,
does. It's a lot of work, especially at that time. Yeah, for sure. And I, even with my short hairs, it's still, I could each dog is, like 5, 10 minutes to get ready, which I know
yeah,
seems quick, but it's by the do next one and next one and next one and then
yeah,
pictures and this, and you're still in
yeah.
it for an hour, hour,
It's
2 hours.
it's like a factory.
Hmm.
With mine, it takes at least half an hour per dog because by the
Oh,
time you bathe
wow.
them and you dry them and then you brush them
Yeah.
and put a little bow or whatever bow tie. Because everybody loves the cute picture. And that's
Hmm.
that's one of the things when they were not selling, one of the friend breeders goes, "Wow, having a really good photo really helped me to, find a family." And I said, okay, great. And I don't know if that was it. And I don't know if it's actually a good thing 100% because we had a hit on one of them that I ended up keeping actually. but
Hmm.
they were so stuck on that. No, we want this puppy because we saw her photo and that's it. We fell in love with her. Like you don't even know anything about her. Because I always offer to do
Yeah.
FaceTime. I offer for them to come to
Yeah.
the house
Hmm.
if they live close enough, obviously. If not, always FaceTime because I want to see them too. It's not, of
Yeah,
course you want to
absolutely.
see that the puppies are here. I'm not some kind of a scam, but I
Right.
also want to see the family. And they're just, no, no, we just want that one. They didn't want to see her live. They didn't want, and I thought, okay, this is really weird. How can you just fall in love with a photo, with one photo, and
Right.
then you're stuck with it? No, we just want this puppy and that's it. Which I get it, but I don't know if it's 100% a good thing because then they don't consider the temperament. They don't consider
No.
other things. It's not just about the coat color and their pretty eyes and lashes because they have really beautiful eyelashes. And I can see how you can
Right.
fall in love with a particular one. But, it's interesting because couple of them, families thought they were selecting one puppy. They would come over and they go, no, we want the other one.
Yeah.
Because the interaction and just the way, because you see them in real life, it might
It
be
does change things, right?
yeah.
Hmm. Did you find it pretty, like, that wasn't too uncomfortable, that process? Mm.
No, no. Ideally, we like to place them by 6 weeks.
Sure.
So there's a selection process, and then whoever is first on the list gets the
Mm.
first pick, and then it goes by the list. But we didn't have that with the first litter.
It happens. The first
So
litter is
it was,
always weird, right?
yeah, it
Like,
was kind of like, okay, well, come over, see all of them, play with them.
right.
The families wanted to bring their kids, like, oh, let's see how they interact with kids. And it was good because it was good for their socialization. And then it's
Yeah.
great for the kids because they had fun. And yeah, it's interesting. It's like, oh, we thought we wanted this one, but no, it's going to be this one.
No, no, it's this one. Yeah. But that works out good because then they take it and own it. Have you had any like issues, people complaining or anything that you
No, the
anything?
only
Oh,
thing we're
lucky.
hearing is like the other day I got a text like, okay. So my husband and I decided we're getting another one from you. So we need more business cards from you, but maybe when he is 2 years old, we'll get another one. I'm like, okay, great. So no, it's like people are just, they love them. They're so sweet.
Yeah.
And that we haven't had any, knock on wood, negative feedback from anybody.
That's so good. I know.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part about it. I mean,
Yeah.
people we expect it from time to time, but
I know.
ultimately,
Every time I get a text, I'm like, oh, is something wrong? Not that, you know what I mean? Not that I expect anything to be wrong, but sometimes things happen. It's like, I remember one of the buyers texting, oh, I don't know what's wrong, but it seems like, there's like a poop stuck. I think she has constipation. I'm like, are you sure is it just not like something stuck to her fur? Let me just bring her over. I'll, trim her up there. That was probably the worst thing that ever
Mhm.
happened.
That happens. Yeah. Especially with that kind of hair.
Yeah, you have to keep that area really clean and short. Yeah, for sure. Because if it's a little bit looser, then forget it. Yeah.
Oh God, right. Oh my gosh. I know. That is like the one thing that I am like so not qualified to do.
I know.
So
This morning I
bad.
had to clean one of my adults. I'm like, oh boy, you had, you had a bad one. It's okay. We do a lot of poop cleaning. That's another thing I think a lot of our buyers don't realize.
I have no idea how much
A
work goes. I
lot
know,
of
isn't
poop.
it? I've had so many people, oh, it's so great. Isn't this so fun? Or, oh,
Yeah,
and I've had people buy breeding rights, like when a female and they come back to me to breed her,
yeah.
they do not stick with it. Like it is,
Really?
no, because it's just not like when I watch organically what happens, like in your
Uh,
situation and breeders that stay with it, like it's something that grows and grows and grows for years. And like it's just, it's a different kind of person.
yeah.
And so then you have these people that, they both work and their kids are, not as interested in it or you're not maybe helping or something like that. It just doesn't become like a long-term thing because it's too much work for most people.
A lot of work. It's a lot of
Mhm.
work. And it's also hard when like the partner is not completely on board. Like I have a
Sure.
supportive partner, but then again, it's, they're in my living room and we have a whelping room that is a room that's kind of attached to the living room,
Yeah.
kitchen, its own bathroom. And yes, sometimes, puppies have to go to the
Yeah,
bathroom and I can't clean it up right away. So
right. I know. Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
it's
I
like,
know.
oh, ooh, what is this? Although luckily nobody have ever said anything. Like people visit, but you know how it is when people
Oh,
visit. That's a
they're
whole nother.
just
Of
like level.
course, you
Hmm.
clean and you do things, and it's not like you don't clean otherwise, but it's like
Right.
extra
Oh
work.
gosh, I know you have to get everything fresh. Hmm.
So we never had anybody like, oh, it smells good. And, we only got comes, oh, they smell so good. Puppy smells so good.
When people
I have
tell
a
me that,
little
I
trick
also like,
though.
yeah, are you sure? Like, I'm always wondering, I'm like, does your nose
Mm,
work? Like, I don't
We,
know, to me,
I,
but
I don't know. We have, well, I try to refresh them. I use this like waterless shampoo too on them.
oh, right, the help.
So they're like fresh and smell really good. But
Mhm.
some days it's just like, okay, I just cleaned everything and there's poop again everywhere. So it's how it
I
is.
get about 7 minutes. I think that's about all I get.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Done. I know that's about it. It's
Definitely,
over. I
it's good.
know. Don't you hate it when there's like one where like you clean it
One.
and like the
Yeah,
litter box is there and then they're like, but I think I'll just go over here. And I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
and I just changed
Or
that and now I gotta leave.
yeah,
Hmm.
or they get, we use little wolves. So that's a litter, but because we started potty training at 3 weeks, but sometimes it doesn't fall through.
Yeah,
So they
right.
step on it and it's like everywhere.
Yeah,
I know, I
it's
know.
gross.
Well, the
It
amount
is
of
a little gross.
laundry, we need a new washer because the amount of laundry
I
we
know. I do think like going forward, like Bill and I were like, Julie, I goes, Bill, do you think we could get like one of those like all-in-one units just for our
uh-huh
bedroom?
for the
Like,
yeah,
because they're kind of maintenance intensive, is what I
yeah,
understand. But like, Bill's really good at that stuff, so it's like, oh,
that's
honey, it's
good.
gotta change that filter, and then he'll take care of it. But then we can keep everything separate. So I'm gonna try to sell him on it, just for the fact that we don't have to share the laundry with dogs. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, ideally I would love a separate laundry for the doggies. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have my
Yeah.
clothes that I can't only wash in cold water. I never want those to follow a dog load. It's just
Yeah.
not good. So
I know that we've been thinking how to add another unit. That's like, where would we put it? But we really need a separate one for them,
I think
especially when
so.
puppies and these pads that the reusable pads that you have to wash at least 3 times a
Yeah.
day, yeah.
It's just I know it's a thing. It's a thing, but it is true. But it seems like you got a pretty good flow. So can you tell us a little bit about your setup and how you manage this, especially as they got older too, because that gets a little bit more intense, but super common.
Yeah, yeah, it does because they're just more mobile and they just want to explore. And so we have a whelping room that is downstairs. And it's kind of like a guest room, I guess they call it, in-laws suite, because there's
Oh
a
yeah, the
bathroom
mother-in-law
with a
suite.
shower.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a bathroom right across it with a shower, which is a doggy shower. So this is all, this is the doggy room.
that's so
And so
good.
when she's ready to whelp, I have the whelping box in there, so everything is set up for that, for labor
Hmm.
delivery, and then nursing the first 3 weeks or so. Then once they get more mobile, like 4 or 5 weeks, depending. These
Hmm.
guys, the mama decided at 3.5 weeks that she's done with nursing.
That's not unusual for first-time moms and with big
Yeah,
litter.
she's
But
like,
she,
oh, good.
yeah, did you
Yes.
have to work to keep weight on her? That's really common with the
No,
big litter.
she was great. I mean, it's also one of the other things which was interesting because my friends were like, do not let her eat more than one placenta. She'll have diarrhea. You'll have to clean everything. And I go, okay, I'll let her do whatever she wants. So she ended up eating 8 placentas.
Good for her.
And I gave her a probiotic. I'm like, you're gonna have
Mhm.
a probiotic and we'll see how it goes. And
Yeah.
yes, it was a little looser, but it wasn't like, explosive diarrhea everywhere. So it's expected to
Awesome.
be looser anyway.
Yeah.
But no, she was really good. She lost weight obviously because she had them because it was
Mhm.
like about probably 6 pounds of them. And they were good
Great.
size. They were like 9, 10, 12 ounces. Um, I think one of them was a little smaller.
Hmm.
And no, she did really good. She didn't blow her coat, but she was on fish oil. There was a period in her pregnancy where like second part of pregnancy, she wasn't
Hmm.
eating well. So I had
Hmm.
to keep getting creative every couple of days because sometimes she would take eggs and cooked food. Other times she's like, no, I don't want this. So I would go to
Yeah.
the store. I'm like, okay, let's do the raw, like semi-raw, I guess. I would warm it up for her and I would be cooked. Um, so she would go through the period where she ate that and like, no, I don't want that. So,
Yeah.
but she's fine. She is normal weight. Everything is
It all
perfect.
comes back anyway. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But it is nerve-wracking, isn't it? When you're like, you're feeding babies, you need to eat.
I know the whole thing. I mean, I give vitamins. There's prenatal and there's postnatal. So she was
Mhm.
on that while she was still
Good.
nursing them, the fish oil and the probiotic and all the things. And then, yeah, but at 3.5 weeks, she's kind of like, I'll just go in there whenever I feel like it. And so we had to start weaning off. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so
Good.
then, then the setup changed. I took the wall pin box out because like, okay, you don't need to use it anymore. They need more space. It's 11 of them. I ended
Yeah.
up expending, so I have it's the Clearly Loved Pets playpen. And so I
Mhm.
ended up expending it twice because they needed more room.
More and more space. Yeah. That
Yeah,
makes
and then
sense.
we got like the little playroom thing going, with the toys that help development
Hmm.
and like the little thing they can climb and the toys that hang and it's like a
Right.
puppy gym. Yeah.
Hmm.
Different textures they can step on and wobbly things and then they grow out of that. So because at that point they need to be hearing the sounds of the household so they can get
Right.
used to the blender and the coffee machine.
Hmm.
And I moved them into the living room. So then they were in this playpen in the living room.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
so they got to
Look
experience
at him.
day-to-day
Yeah.
sounds and noise. And I
Yeah.
played the CD. There's I think it's called Through Dog's Ears. And they have
Uh-huh.
the outside sounds and the inside sounds. So it's like a CD that goes for like an hour and like different
That's
sounds with
nice.
music in the
Hmm.
background. So
That's
we
really
try to
good.
expose them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a fun setup. And it works. That's a good flow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then you have to run vacuum cleaner. I mean, anything that
Mhm.
you can think of, like trash can, opening, closing, the door, the doorbell, anything you can think of that the new family
Whitney. Yeah.
would have. So they're
Hmm.
not surprised by anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it seems like it paid off. Your people seem so happy with them.
They are. Yeah, they are. Thank goodness.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
how do you feel about going into the next litter?
I feel good. The only the only thing is we have a baby on board now. So
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, so the next litter is probably going to be spring where the baby is due around the same time. So I'm kind of
Of course.
concerned about, the logistics of it, but
Yeah. But like spring
uh,
babies is like a thing.
yeah,
So it's
but I'm
good.
excited. I'm excited though,
Yeah.
because they're wonderful puppies and I know we have, families already out there now that could speak to the puppy like, "Oh, we love our puppy. Yeah, get one."
Yeah.
From Aspen and Zeppelin. So I think we'll have more advocacy out there.
That's
Uh,
so good.
I
Hmm.
feel like it might be a little easier because I think honestly the hardest part was finding the right families.
Yeah. No, it
I know it's
is.
a lot of
Did
work.
you
Yeah, but
find what was the hardest part? Was it because you weren't sure like what to ask them or you weren't really familiar? Because it takes a while to kind of get used to that process, I think. Like, were you just like, because I know
yeah,
all the questions I want to ask, and when they say something, I'm, oh, red flag, let me ask about that. But I've done it for
yeah.
so long, and maybe that's the shift that takes a while.
I think a lot of it felt to me that some of it was like being on a dating app. It's people send a message and then they ghost you. Or like, oh, we really want your puppy, and then they just disappear. And it's like, okay. So that part was really weird. And we try to use Good Dog as well, which I know a lot of breeders use and they're successful. But it was
Mhm.
I felt like I was on a dating app. And they like send a bunch of messages to different breeders and like,
Yeah.
okay, and then never bother responding back, which whatever, it's
Ah.
fine. But once you've had conversation with someone and they just ghost, it's kind of strange.
And I think
So
it's because you get excited, or, especially if like they check the boxes and you're like, oh, this feels right. And then you
yeah.
never hear from
Yeah, because they will like tell
them.
you the whole story. Oh, this is our
Mhm.
family. This is how we do it. No, 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 we want the
Yeah.
okay, great. Let's get on. Or people. when you offer to get on FaceTime, some of them didn't want to do that, and that's a red flag for me.
Oh, they didn't want to see their dogs, or what was their,
No,
what
they're
did they
they're just like,
say?
oh, we want your puppy, and then you're like, okay, let's get on FaceTime, and then crickets. Okay. Or it was, oh, it's too far away. Okay, we don't want to use puppy nanny. Oh, it's too far.
Oh, yeah.
So somehow we got
That is
here.
something I think you run into with Good Dog more than other places just because it's so
Yeah.
national. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even with Instagram, you have to be careful because you have to specify the area. And I think originally I went like a little bit far
With your
because
ads, like you were boosting
yeah,
too
yeah,
far.
yeah.
Okay.
Because one of them went to Maryland and the family totally didn't care. They paid for the puppy nanny, they tipped the puppy nanny. It was all good. So I was like, if you really, I mean, that's how I was with my first one. I flew
Sure.
to Michigan to get him.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just really want this dog.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's extra money and it's
Yeah.
so then I had to kind of keep it within our area.
Hmm.
Plus, they were getting bigger and I was
That's
getting
true.
worried
It's a
like,
little bit harder to ship. In cabin doesn't always work, and
yeah,
yeah, all that
exactly.
stuff for
Exactly.
sure. I think it's nice when they're local, and I think it's really awesome to have like a group, like like for me, Phoenix being 3 hours away is a great hub. Tons of people there. Dogs do great in the area, and I
Yeah,
love it that I can just like go up there and unload like most of the litter in one day. It's nice.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
So
So it's nice that you also get to see them. Like one of them
yeah,
keeps
they're
coming
close
back
enough.
when they're traveling, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I get to see my babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Um, did you, when you prepared for everything from the business side of it, what were some of the things that you prepared that really you were glad you did? And maybe if there's anything that you thought maybe I wish I would have done more of this or done this different?
That's a great question. I think probably just kind of planning out the marketing and the sales part.
Hmm.
Because it's, you concentrate so much on the clinical side for me because my background is clinical. So you're like, let me make sure I take care of them and everybody's perfect health and everybody's nourished and all of the things and development that you kind of forget that, oh yeah, you need to also run the Instagram and you need to make
Yeah.
sure that you find the right families, which I know to us we say sell them, but
Mhm.
I kind of don't like that because it's finding the family. It's finding the
No,
right
it's
family.
good. But that's also the
So,
feel that works for your buyers too. So that's
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think that piece was stressful because it's just so time consuming to sit on social media and like every day we had to post something or because I noticed, what was interesting because sometimes I felt like I'm just posting into the ether and nobody cares.
Mhm.
Because people would watch the stories, but then like I'll get like 5 likes on the post, like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But then what happened? My really last one that found a family, apparently the new mom, she
Hmm.
said, "Oh, I've been watching your litter since the very beginning." So she's been watching this whole time.
No.
And then she
Hmm.
goes, I'm ready. I'm now ready. So
Yeah.
I want your dog because I see what you've been doing this whole time. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I guess that wasn't wasted time because I try to,
Right.
every day, like, this is what we're doing. This is how we're, you know, I guess whelping. I don't know if I shared a lot. I think I posted something about it, but it was
Mhm.
more, here's the development, here's the training, here's what we do and day to day and kind of just kind of like this was just fun for me to do. And then apparently people watch. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
no, that works out. It's true. There is a lot of like, I don't know, like people that sort of like I don't want to call them creepers, right? Because they're
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
people,
yeah.
but they
Yeah,
do sort of like just hang out in the shadows and like
they do.
watch. Like
Yeah.
I have one lady who finally like told me, she says, Julie, I've checked your website every day for 5 days. When are you going to put new pictures up? And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
and I'm like, I
they
forget, they get
care.
used to it and they want to
Yeah.
see them. And
Yeah.
um, it's really cool to me when people contact me and they're like, they know the dogs, the breeding pair they want to get it.
Yeah.
Like they've gone through my website. I love that. So I think you're right. Oh, the lurkers. I think that was the word that I was looking for. Yeah, they're like the lurkers.
Yes. We have those too. And even some came to visit the puppies and then crickets. They
Yeah.
spend like 2 hours here in my home with their whole family and then never bother to say like, oh, it's not a good time now or what. But they're watching every single story.
Yeah.
Still, to this point.
Aw. They're
So
still waiting. Those so a
maybe,
lot of times
maybe. Yeah.
people I've noticed a lot of people get really, really excited about the shopping and finding the breeder, finding the right everything. And then they have like this weird like slap of reality, like, oh, we're not ready for this, or oh, financially we're not
Yeah.
ready for this, or
Yeah.
and then and so I think it's good. I have found that they usually come back 3 to 6 months later.
Yeah.
So you'll
There's
probably have a lot
also
easier time.
life happens too. We had one family that really wanted one of the, I mean, they were so upset that it didn't work out, but they had a family emergency happen,
Yeah.
and so that money had to go there, and it's understandable. So they're like, we're definitely getting puppy from you, but it's just not right now.
Hmm.
And that's understandable.
Yeah.
I don't want the puppy go somewhere and like all of a sudden, oh, we can't take care of it.
Right. It's
Then
much
it
better when
comes
that
back.
happens before they get it. Absolutely.
So it's
Mhm.
always a blessing when it happens.
Really. Yeah.
Before they actually take
Right.
them home.
I agree with you 100%. 100%. I know it feels like a real letdown when it happens,
Yeah.
but then later you're like, oh, I'm really glad that that was that
Yeah.
way. Hmm.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
bummer too. It's not just for me, but for the family. Because I know they went, sometimes they would tell the kids and the kids are already excited and like, oh, we realize it's too
Yeah.
like with my guardian that happened. They really wanted her
Hmm.
and the potential guardian. And then they realized we're not ready for this. This is going to be our first dog and it's a lot of responsibility. And anyway,
Hmm.
I'm glad that they are responsible people and they didn't just take the dog because it's emotionally, you're on this high, right? Like, get a puppy, and it's so
Yeah.
exciting. And then, they realized early on that, wow, this is
Yeah.
going to be too much for our family. So, yeah.
Hmm. It is good. It is good in the end. It's a bummer though, because you get so excited, especially when
I
they
know. A
when
good
people are,
family.
yeah, when they have enough awareness that they know they're not ready, like
Yeah.
those are people that make really
Yeah.
good owners. And you're like, oh, I just
Exactly.
wish you were a little further along. But yeah,
Exactly.
it totally makes
Exactly.
sense. And I also, just for people listening, I have had situations because I have like a text me button on my site. When people text me, sometimes I'll have a great conversation. Everything flows right. And they'll say like, "Oh, I need to just talk with my husband. I need to get back," or oh, I'm getting back to work. I'll talk to you soon.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm like, cool, let me know what question you have. And it's crickets, right? So
Uh-huh.
like I just even last night had one. The girl, we talked like 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. I don't have puppies available right now, so it's just kind of like out
Yeah.
there in Never Land. And she just messaged me, okay, I'm ready to put a deposit down. I was like, well, hello, hi.
Yeah. Hi there. Yeah, exactly.
We never even finished the conversation. It's
Yeah.
just funny. A lot of that happens. People get just what they need. And I notice I do that too. I go and I reach out to a company and I get a response and then I realize I never contact them back to say like, hey, it worked or, like I just keep
Yeah,
going
yeah.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That happens too, but it's also
Mhm.
like you said, they usually come back.
They
And
do. But
if
sometimes
not,
it takes
it's
a
not
while.
right away, but yeah, exactly. Exactly. We had one like that. Like conversation was going on for hours and then crickets for a whole day or two and then all of a sudden, okay, can we come visit this weekend? Like, okay.
Right. I know.
And then they're
And
like,
just when you
oh,
give up on them, they're like, oh no, we're really ready. And I'm like,
yeah, yeah. And then they're like, oh, we wish we took both puppies. So like I have two families now that said, oh, we wish we took two, a boy and a girl from you.
all
Like,
right.
okay, well, maybe next litter or whenever you're ready. But
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it's interesting. It's interesting. But some it's just, what I've noticed, if the
Hmm.
first question they ask is the price, then it's not gonna work out.
Isn't that so funny?
Yeah.
It's almost always true. I would
Yeah.
say probably 95% of the time. Every once in a while, you get one person who just needed to make sure that was something they could afford,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And that's also, I honestly, I plaster my price everywhere. It's surprising though how much I plaster my price everywhere and people
And
still
they're
ask
still
me,
asking. Yeah.
like,
I think maybe
the
they're
dog's,
hoping. Yeah.
yeah, it's weird. The dog's name is right there and the price is right next to it.
Yeah.
And it says available. And they'll contact me and say, is this dog still available? And I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
And they're like, how much? I'm like, okay. You should, it's just the funniest
It's
thing to
so
me.
it's almost like they're like, oh, it's still available, so therefore it should be less in price, which
I
is
know.
wild to me because we end up doing more work the more they stay with us. It's like,
I I know.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's really, really relevant with the rat terriers. I find my buyers, I could sell all my dogs very quickly if they were
Mhm.
a little bit cheaper. Like,
Yeah.
because there's a
Yeah.
mindset shift for my rat terrier buyers because they're unfortunately the people that like their last dog was a part rat terrier from the shelter, and so or it was like free, or oh, I found this in
Yeah.
the alley, and it's like, yo, this one's not from the
Not
alley. Like, I
exactly.
didn't abuse it before you got it. Sorry. And so
Yeah.
then they're
Yeah.
like, but you want to get paid for them? Like, I do. I do a lot of work with these guys, and
Yeah.
it's just so funny. But the people, but then I'm always relieved when they don't get one
Hmm.
because I'm like, ooh, you don't have the right expectations.
Absolutely. No, if there's already devaluing happening before they even reached out to you, I don't think that's a good setup at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Do
Exactly. I know.
not devalue these precious.
Right. I know. Lily's like, well, I don't need papers. I'm like, that's not what makes them expensive.
No, no. Yeah, I think people also don't realize how much goes into it financially too. So
Well,
it's not just the time we spend cleaning stuff.
yes,
We don't even charge for that. That's not even
that's
part of
just
the price,
free.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the amount that go, you know, doing it right, I should say. Because yeah, if we don't do it right, then yeah, it could be a lot cheaper, but we don't cut corners.
Mm-mm. No, we can't. We just, not for that.
No,
Not like that.
no,
And it doesn't make you feel good. I've
no.
found too that those people that you end up, because I've been that guy and I did discount a dog, they are the worst. They are the worst people. They call you with problems. Everything's your fault. I'm like, do you realize like when you got a deal on the dog that it
Yeah,
came with the understanding that you weren't getting a full price dog?
right,
And
right.
they don't. They just think they should get more. It's a
Yeah,
very difficult dynamic. So I know it sucks hanging on to price, but I was so relieved when you texted me and said you hung on to your price because I was like, yes, I know you got all the good buyers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would have regretted it because the way the conversation went, it was kind of like, but would you take care of this dog though? Because the next thing will be,
Right.
oh, the food you recommend is too expensive or this or the other. And it's like you're paying for health of this dog because we know where it came from, we know the
Yeah.
genetics, but not to say like things happen, obviously, we can't control
Sure.
everything. But, we try our best to give you the healthiest dog that we could possibly breed
Yeah.
or raise, I should say. I kind of catch myself that I should switch it from saying we breed to we raise dogs because there's a whole
Hmm.
label about breeders and somehow that was another thing, we got a couple of comments on some of the posts. Go get a real job instead of selling puppies.
No, it's just like, because I work with breeders who are so good every day. People, I mean, look how much you care.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think what's the most frustrating thing in the world is you have all these breeders who care, they're putting all this time in, and the product, if you will, that you're making is so good. And because marketing is like a freight train that you have to build and build momentum with, when
Yeah.
you have these leftover puppies, there's this huge disparity between what people think they're worth and what they are worth. And it's all just because of the marketing.
Yeah.
And when you get that piece like going for, I mean, it's good. But then the part that sucks about that is that there's breeders that are good at the marketing but aren't good at the dogs. And that gives the rest of breeders a bad name. But I like that. I really like that terminology you use that you're raising
I
dogs
think
instead
it's
of
also
breeding.
this, this is all I know because the breeders I know, they do the right thing 100% every day.
Um,
So I don't know, and obviously there is backyard breeders, but when somebody
sure.
calls us backyard breeders, it's just so wrong. It's so wrong.
Yeah.
My dogs eat better than I do.
I know you do the best with them. They're so good. But no, I think it's so weird. It's just, I think it's so hard for me to wrap my head around, that people think we should have like really good, well-behaved dogs and that wouldn't come from somebody putting time into them. And then to think
Yeah.
that people putting that time into them shouldn't get paid for that dedication, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
amount
expect.
of
Yeah.
holidays we miss and outings and you know how it
Yeah.
is, especially the first three. I mean, the first 3 weeks I was living in her wellbeing box.
Right? All
And
the
it's
chiropractic
really,
care you now need.
I
Yeah.
know. As I went back to my exercise class and everybody's like, "Oh, we thought you're dead. What happened to you?" It's like, we had puppies. I'm not leaving my
I
baby.
thought you were dead. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That's so
So there are a
funny.
lot of sacrifices, if you want to call that, but it's much needed to do it right. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, Anything that worked out super, super well that you're glad you did or did ahead of time before you had dogs or before you had your puppies
before puppies, I
that
think
made your life easier? You did so much research.
Uh, I felt like I wasn't ready because, no matter how much you learn and you read, and I did several courses because there are a couple of really good ones out there on
Yeah.
whelping and then development. And so I tried to learn as much as I could, but then I realized I think it's better if I just do it week by week. So, okay, they're turning 2 weeks. Let's learn what we need to do this week instead of like overwhelming yourself to do it all at once
Yeah.
ahead of time. But I'm glad that I have friends who are also doing this. And
Yeah.
then I could reach out and just ask, like, what do you use for prevention? Like the parasites and the bacteria and this and which
Sure.
cleaning products. And so like we were prepared, nobody ever got sick. So that was really nice. Because I know there's
Yeah.
sometimes, you deal with giardia and different things. And so everybody was healthy. But I have like that's probably the most what I'm grateful for is having you and then having my other breeder friends on call, like,
Mm.
hey, what would you do? Or
Yeah.
this happened. How shit is that? And
Yeah.
you just can like vent if you have to, or if you really
Yeah.
need advice, they will honestly tell you what to do or not to do.
Yeah.
Uh,
Exactly.
that's probably the biggest asset.
Yeah, just having that community, having people that you
Community.
can
Yeah.
talk to who understand, because I
Yeah.
swear, like, there are times where, like, Bill's really sweet, right? And he'll just sit there and he'll listen to me really intently. And I'm like, what do I do? And he's like, I don't know. Why would I
Yeah.
know? You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Exactly. And it's like, I think it's also scary. It's like, even like, oh, can you watch them for an hour? I need to run out and get something. What do
Right.
I do? What do you need me to do? I'm like, just watch to make sure nobody is hurt or whatever. Just keep an eye on them.
Exactly.
Even though I have a camera in the wellbeing room, I still need
Yes.
somebody else to be there. But yeah, yeah, it's right. I don't know. Sometimes I mean, were there days where I would just sit on the floor and cry? Yes, because you get overwhelmed
Yeah.
and you get like, am I doing this right? Am I doing
Yeah.
everything that I can? I'm sure it's like the mom brain that kicks in too. It's like,
Oh, it's
am I
or
doing
like
enough?
when they're getting older and they
Yeah,
aren't sold, like the waking up at 3 a.m., that's how it would
yeah,
always hit me. I'd be like, oh, yep, yep, I'm really worried about this, and I'm like, what are you gonna do about it at 3 a.m., Julie? Just get some sleep, you know?
yeah, exactly, exactly. So all you can do, like you said, you either pray about it or you put it out there in the universe, whatever you believe in. And then it happens because you attract
Mhm.
it, and it happened with every
Yeah.
single one. And just being grateful. Yeah, I took the time every night and every morning. I'm so grateful for every family that we found. That was amazing. So grateful for every family, for every puppy, and then thank you in advance for the next family.
Yeah. And I think you kind of touched on something too earlier when you said you turned down families and then a good one just came around the corner.
Yeah,
There's some weird things. So I think when you stand up for your dogs and say, you're not good enough for one of my dogs,
yeah,
it very much raises their value. And now it sort of projects out to the universe that a better family has to come in. I don't know how it
yeah.
works, but I do see that happening all the time.
Yeah.
I've seen it in my
Yeah,
own
it's
program.
with one boy, which was he is amazing. He's gorgeous. And the somebody that offered me like third of the price, basically. And I'm like, no. And then, the argument was, well, he's older now, so you think about it. And I'm like, no, there's nothing to think about here because he
Mm-mm.
is valuable and he is gonna wait until the right family. And the family that got him, they're like obsessed with him, and now they want another one. So
Yeah, exactly. It's so much better. And I think too, when you have a hard negotiation start a relationship, you're buying a dog. Here's a 15-year relationship, and you just started it off on the wrong foot. Like you just don't want
Exactly.
that.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. Another red flag was, oh, I'm always home, so I really want a dog. And it's like, well, do you want a dog because you're bored, or are you actually getting a dog to take care of it and to raise it
Yeah.
well and
Sure.
keep taking care of it? Or it's just gonna be something that, oh, for a moment, I was bored, so
Yeah.
I got this puppy, and then now I don't want it anymore. So it just felt wrong on so many levels
Yeah.
that I actually ghosted her. Like, I'm not continuing this conversation.
Right. Exactly. Did you okay, so we talked a little bit about your ideal puppy buyer before your litters came. Like that was something we discussed a little bit,
Yeah.
earlier. Do you now that you've sold a litter, did you
Hmm.
find that changed a little?
Shifted.
Did it morphed? Did you get a better
Yeah, it
understanding of
it
it?
did. It
Yeah.
shifted
Can you
because
kind of share a little of that transition?
sure. I think I was coming from a place where I was this when I got my first Labradoodle. I was in a relationship, in a different relationship, and it's kind of like my partner at the time got me the puppy
Mhm.
because he didn't want kids, and I've always wanted kids. And I was like, well, here is something you can take care of, basically like replacing your child, and it's not the
Yeah.
same.
No, they're not.
I love my dogs so
Mhm.
much, but it's like it's not the same. Yes, it is my baby, but it's also like, you know,
Well, in a way, I think it's disrespectful to the dog to treat them like
I
kids,
know, I
because they have
know.
different
I'm like,
needs.
they do. It's
Yeah.
different. And so, and then I got my next one, and then we broke up, and then I was single for a while with two dogs and three dogs, and then I met my partner. And it's just like, wow, this is a lot different, but here we are. We're still kind of a family of two with dogs. We don't have kids.
Yeah.
So my idea of an ideal buyer was like, oh, it's somebody that kind of really wants a dog to be a part of their
Mhm.
family, but maybe they don't have kids yet, or maybe they can't, or maybe they don't want whatever.
Mhm.
It was just kind of like really, I think, too much from a personal space.
Sure.
And then what ended up happening is most of our families who got them are families with kids. And it's
Perfect.
just so amazing to watch, these kids getting their first dog and the excitement.
Yeah.
And it was just so now it's shifted to like, ooh, we really want to complete your family with a puppy.
Yes. Oh,
So
that's so cool. Like that, just that extra little. I always feel like they're like an enjoyment
yeah.
amplifier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I remember it would make me cry because we would get on FaceTime, either FaceTime because one family was in Maryland and the kids saw this puppy and oh my, I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. I'm like, I'm gonna cry right now. And and then, more families that came over with their kids, and then you see that excitement, and not only the parents, but the kids, like, oh, this is our puppy. Oh my God, we're getting a puppy. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I found out I'm pregnant. So like,
Oh, it's so good
so I
though.
don't know. It was kind of, I guess, this energetic. I joke that this household was just super fertile over the summer. But
Right.
yeah, it's just kind of shifted. It's shifted from this sort
Yeah.
of like, oh, maybe it was. And then I realized your dog cannot fill a void for you. It shouldn't.
Yeah. I
No
think it
matter
can't.
what.
I
Yeah.
mean, like it should.
In a sense, there was one family that reached out, for example, and they lost their dog, and they were
Mhm.
looking for this specific color and pattern dog to replace their dog. And it's like you cannot replace a dog. It's a different dog. And then you have
Yeah.
expectations, and I didn't feel good about that one either because then the expectations are not met. It's not exactly the same temperament or the same way they look at you as your other dog. They would just not love it the same.
Right.
So that, or like sometimes, for me, it was like, oh, well, maybe this puppy will fill this void of you wanting a child that I don't
Mhm.
want to have, or, my previous partner.
Yeah.
Um, so something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's,
I think the void has to be something that they are um it can't come out of an expectation for something the dog can't provide, right? And a
mhm,
dog
mhm,
can't actually be a kid.
yeah,
It can be sort of like that if you really decide you didn't want kids, but you still want something to love on. But like,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
really, but you always wanted kids. So it wouldn't ever make this,
The
it's just
love,
not enough.
the
It's
love is,
different.
that love that you have that you're like, oh, I don't know what to do with it. Then yes, you give it to the
Yeah.
dog and then it's fair.
Right.
But
Hmm.
then in some situations, it's like, is it fair to the dog? Because it wants to be
Exactly.
its own entity and it wants to be its own,
Sure.
being. And then there
Right.
you are, like, oh, I expect you to do this for me because this is what I'm missing in my heart.
Exactly.
Which obviously there are situations where dogs provide that love and
Hmm.
help somebody heal. But
Absolutely. But
but
it
in
is
some
different, right? Like what you're pointing out is not, it's just not the same because
Mhm.
humans and dogs are different and it doesn't make either one better or worse, but they are different. And,
Yeah.
like, you can house train a dog from the day it's born in a few weeks. Like that's impressive. Can't do that with kids,
No,
you
no.
know? But there's yeah, they're just different. I think there's a big movement in respecting dogs for what they are and what they provide, but that's appropriate to them, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So yeah, that was interesting because that whole thing, I remember even thinking about it. I'm like, oh, I remember Julie and I discussed the ideal buyer, and now it's shifted to okay, families, and
Yeah.
then not that obviously we don't have a parameters like if you don't have kids, you can't have
Of
a
course, of
dog.
course. Yeah.
I would love for you to have the dog. But more of this like, oh, what else can the dog do and have a job out there, like working at the medical setting or working in the
Mhm.
school and being a therapy dog or maybe even service dog. So
Yeah. I think
yeah.
it is interesting. And so I think that's something for everybody to know. I know a lot of breeders get stuck on building this ideal puppy buyer before they have and you should. It's
Mm,
really helpful for marketing and planning and writing a website and doing social media. But in your experience, right, you noticed a shift in what you were attracting. And it feels more in alignment with your life now than maybe when you started. And that evolution is very natural. And
yeah.
it is important that we can always evaluate our ideal puppy buyer and shift them.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think that's a huge thing.
This shift happened
Mhm.
while I was raising them because a lot, and I realized that we don't have a child of our own yet. And we didn't know, this was a blessing that was unexpected. So I was really careful about making sure that socialization piece happens. So I had my friends come over with infants, then 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, teenagers. Our neighbor girls would like come over every weekend and spend hours in the backyard with puppies. And so
Oh,
I was really careful because there was a lot of questions like, are they socialized with kids? Because,
sure.
they don't see kids on my social media, obviously, because I don't have my own. But that piece happened. And then it was kind of like, oh, it would be nice to have my own in-house child.
Right? They're very useful.
Not that that was a reason, but it's important. It's important for both the child and puppies also for their development to be
Yeah.
exposed to different situations and people and ages and
Yeah.
so we socialized, we started taking them out at 6 weeks to breweries and wineries and in the stroller in the neighborhood.
Hmm. Yeah. No, that's perfect. That's a great way I love it. And I like how you were able to employ all your friends and their kids. Like that's really
Yeah,
useful.
yeah. Well, it was
Yeah.
like a win-win because the kids always want to come play with the puppies. It's a thing. And then it worked out for us because the puppies got socialization. So
Yeah.
it was it was really sweet.
Oh, it works out so good. I know. We have a family that has 4 kids, and I'm always like, "Hey, you want to bring your kids over? I'll watch them for a
Yeah.
couple hours,
Yeah.
and then they get a lot
Yeah.
of time with the puppies."
Yeah, yeah, it's great. It's great to have
Mhm.
that. And just also, from the standpoint of kind of showing the kids the responsibility, but also this unconditional love towards an animal. And I think it's so important. So
Yeah.
it's on so many levels. So it's not like, oh, come play with the puppy. It's like, oh, you really love the animals, and this is so great.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Donna, thanks so much for sharing your story. Oh, I just love it. I love the evolution of your ideal puppy buyer. Like that is so good and such a nice illustration of how that can just very organically happen in someone's breeding program. So thanks. So excited to
Yeah.
see. And then, um, but if you were going to give advice to new breeders getting started, what's one thing you say? Hey, definitely do this, or definitely don't do that, or
Oh,
like,
yes, I love that question. And I would say this, have a community because it takes a village.
yeah,
You can't do it by yourself. And it's kind of like it's not competition. This is your network of people that will be supportive at 1 a.m. in the morning. Like, how is it going? How is your dog? And you'll do the same for them. And that's probably the best thing you can have. And then everything else falls into place because you'll have the support of the people that are like-minded. And honestly, so here's the thing. I can't really talk to my partner about birth things and poop things over dinner, but I can with my breeding friends.
so
One of
true.
them, one of them visited and we are just so laughing. My partner was there, Justin was there with us. I'm like, we're so sorry. We're just like talking birth and oh, this this dog has this sperm count and it's like you can't talk to your partners always about these things. And there are a lot of supportive partners, but you need to have somebody outside of the home that is going to be your network and go to, and anybody you can text
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning and ask a question, and they'll be there for you.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And like the group of breeders that is on Facebook is not real, guys. Like they are not the normal, like, breeders by the society. Like everybody's like so fun and so nice inside our group. And I just think it's,
Yes,
it's where it
exactly.
should be
Yeah.
instead of all
Yeah.
this, well, my stuff's perfect. No, my dogs never poop.
Yeah, exactly. Or like judgmental, right? So there are a lot of that happening too. It's like, oh, you didn't do that right, or you didn't. And it's like, okay, we're all humans, we all make mistakes and things happen that are outside of your control. It's like, obviously, I didn't want this to happen to my dog or whatever it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
We luckily haven't had anything dramatic happen yet, but I know it's going
Happen.
to. Yeah. So
It can.
having that support and it's like, okay, you didn't do anything wrong. You're not a bad person. Because, we beat ourselves up enough already. You
Yeah.
need somebody that supports you. And,
Mhm.
when they were not selling, also like texting you and texting Christina, my other friend, and she's like, you'll sell them. You'll be
Yeah.
fine. It's not their
Mhm.
time yet. It's all good. Just having that little conversation, super helpful.
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
good. So good. Well, where can people find you?
Yeah, so we are at Kismet Labradoodles on Instagram and online on our website. Facebook, I'm not there. I don't know, for whatever reason, I just held up.
Right.
I post everything Kismet on my personal, but we probably should get on Facebook at some point. But Instagram and the website.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. It was such fun
Thank
having
you
you.
so much for having me. This is a dream come true.
If you found this episode helpful, please tap that like button. It helps me better understand you and supports the channel. If you're a current or aspiring dog breeder, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel to be notified when new videos come out. Thanks.